Former NBA All-Star talks about Kenny Atkinson is a wizard. Jeff Teague calls Kenny Atkinson a wizard for spotting NBA superstars early. What if I told you there's an NBA coach who saw greatness years before the rest of the league caught on? A coach who could look at a young, skinny kid from Greece or a backup big man in Denver and immediately know they become the best players in the world. That's exactly what former NBA All-Star Jeff Teague says about current Cleveland Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson. In a recent episode of his Club 520 podcast, Teague shared some incredible stories about Atkinson's uncanny ability to recognize superstar potential before anybody else believed it. And the way Teague tells it, Atkinson's talent for talent scouting feels almost magical. Let's rewind a little bit. Jeff Teague, for those who don't remember, was the starting point guard of the Atlanta Hawks during their peak years in the mid-2010s. He was an all-star, a steady floor general, and he played under Kenny Atkinson when Atkinson was an assistant coach in Atlanta. According to Teague, it was during those years that he realized Atkinson wasn't just any coach, he was, in Teague's words, a wizard. So what makes Teague say that? Well, let's start with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Teague recalls that Atkinson once pulled him aside and told him flat out, "That kid in Milwaukee, Giannis, is going to be the best player in the league." Remember, this wasn't Giannis the MVP, or Giannis the champion, or even Giannis the all-star. This was skinny teenage Giannis, still raw, still learning the game, still trying to figure out how to use his body. But Atkinson saw something nobody else could. Teague explained that Atkinson described how Giannis would handle the ball, behind-the-back dribbles, flashes of coordination you don't usually see in a guy that tall. Atkinson told Teague, "We should trade for him right now." The Hawks even explored it, according to Teague, but they couldn't get it done. Imagine how different NBA history might look if the Atlanta Hawks had paired Jeff Teague, Paul Millsap, and Al Horford with a young Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's wild to think about. And it wasn't just Giannis. Atkinson also had an early read on Stephen Curry. Now, Curry was already a talented shooter out of Davidson, but early in his career, plenty of people doubted whether he could be a true franchise superstar. He was small, he had ankle injuries, and at that time the NBA was still ruled by big men and physical wings. But Atkinson? He looked at Curry and told Teague he's going to be the best player in the league. Teague admits that he laughed it off. He didn't believe it at first. After all, Curry was a scrawny guard who hadn't yet revolutionized basketball. But when Curry started breaking out, redefining how the game is played, Teague remembered what Atkinson said. And that's when he told him, "You were right. He's the GOAT. From now on, whatever you say, I'm going to believe you." But wait, there's more. Kenny Atkinson also had a sharp eye for Nikola Jokic. Teague remembers a night in Denver. Back then, Jusuf Nurkic was the starting center for the Nuggets, and Jokic was just coming off the bench. He wasn't yet the Joker we know today, the two-time MVP and Finals MVP, the guy some people call the best passing big man of all time. But Atkinson spotted it instantly. According to Teague, Atkinson leaned over and told him, "Their best player is sitting on the bench." Sure enough, Jokic checked into the game and quietly put up a double-double. Teague couldn't believe what he was hearing. Atkinson just nodded, like, "Told you." To Jeff Teague, those moments prove that Kenny Atkinson isn't just a good coach, he's got almost a sixth sense for basketball greatness. He can see the future trajectory of a player before the numbers, the highlights, or the awards start rolling in. That's why Teague calls him a wizard. Think about it, 3 names, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Stephen Curry, Nikola Jokic. That's not just 3 random players, that's 3 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, 3 future Hall of Famers who all, at one point, were doubted, overlooked, or underestimated. And Kenny Atkinson saw each of them as generational talents before the rest of the league caught up. So what does this mean for the Cavaliers today? With Atkinson now leading Cleveland, a lot of fans are wondering if he can do the same thing with young stars like Evan Mobley or even Darius Garland. Can he help them unlock their full potential the way he once believed in Curry, Giannis, and Jokic? Jeff Teague's stories paint a picture of a coach who isn't just about X's and O's. Atkinson's gift is vision, the ability to see beyond what a player is right now and imagine what they could become. And in a league where spotting the next superstar can change the entire direction of a franchise, that's about as valuable as it gets. So the next time you see a young player in Cleveland making a leap, just remember, Kenny Atkinson might have seen it coming all along. And that's why, in Jeff Teague's words, he's not just a coach, he's a wizard.